We're on Niddah Perek Yud Mishnah Bet, second Mishnah in the 10th chapter of Masechet Niddah. Says the Mishnah, what happens if a woman, she has to do Shiva Anakiyim, she has to do she has to clean, have 7 days, but she didn't check herself in the afternoon of the 7th day to make sure that she was tahara before she then went to the mikvah. Says the Mishnah, Niddah shebadka atzma yom shvi shachrit. Okay, she examined herself on the 7th day in the morning. Remember, according to the Torah, in the times of the Mishnah, they didn't consider themselves dam ziva. They considered themselves dam niddah. We're going to find out a case of ziva later. But in case of dam niddah, from the time she starts her nidut, she starts her menstrual bleeding, she counts 7 days. On the 7th day, after the 7 days, if she's clean, she goes to the mikveh that night. So that just reminds us to what degree where the Benot Yisrael Machmirim, Jewish women were stringent upon themselves to take upon themselves dam ziva is an incredible, probably one of the biggest chumrot in all of the Torah. So a woman who checks herself on the 7th day in the morning, right? 7th day, Matzah Torah, she's fine. Uben hashmashot lo hifrisha. And ben hashmashot means in ben hashmashot between the suns. But ben hashmashot is after, at nightfall, before the nightfall, the 7th night, lo hifrisha. She did it. Lafrish means to separate herself. What it means in this case means lo badka atzma. She didn't examine herself. Lafrish b'tahara. Lafrish means to separate herself in tahara. She at the end of the 7 days, she's like, am I tahara or not? So ideally, she has to do an examination on the evening at the end of the 7th day, but she didn't do it. And then ulachar yamim badka atzma. And then later on, she checked herself. Umetzata tme'ah. So then what happened was, she examined herself in the morning of the 7th day. She didn't check herself again. She went to the mikveh that night. And then 4 days later, she examined herself and now she's Tame'ah. So was her tefillah good? Was she tahara or Tame'ah? Says the Mishnah, Harehi bechezkat tahara. She is in the chazakah of tahara. She's in the chazakah that she was tahara all the time from before. And we're going to see how long do we assume, because the question really, of course, is the bread she made, the tarot she did, all the stuff she touched in between is a tara or a tameh. Now, next case. She checked herself on the 7th day in the morning. Umatzata tme'ah. And she found herself tme'ah. But then, she assumed, like always, the 7th day in the morning, she still sees blood, but she knows that it stops by the 7th day at night. And then, in the evening, she didn't check again. And then she went to the mikvah. But later on, she checks that she found she's Torah. She's like, well, I went to the mikvah. Is that okay? No. She has the chazakah, the status of tum'ah. You have to do a b'dika. She had to have a b'dika that was kosher, that was established that she's Torah, in order for the mikvah to count. And therefore, she's a chazakah tum'ah. This takes us back to the very beginning of the Mishnah. What that means is, when a woman establishes herself, and when she used to be tahor, and now she says, I'm now tameh, how far back do I have to go? So remember we said, one of the opinions was, whichever is less, either 24 hours or the last time she checked herself. So, but this cannot be a case of chazkat tme'ah. So the Bartunah basically says, according to everybody, arei shakai. And this goes on the beginning of the Mishnah. So when the beginning of the Mishnah says, harei b'chezkat tahara, right? So let's go back to that case. She checked herself, she's Torah, whatever, she's fine, she went to the mikvah, all's good, and then she checked 5 days later and found out she's Tme'ah. So the Mishnah now is saying, in that case, she's now Tme'ah, she had a chazakah that she was Torah. She checked herself 7th day in the morning. She was fine. She went to the mikvah that night. 5 days later, she finds out she is now Tme'ah. She checks. How far back does she have to go? That's me'ed le'ed, either 24 hours or the time before, last time she checked, whichever is less. And v'im yesh la veset, and if she has a veset, established veset, either a veset of zman, of time, or the guf, dayashata, then right, only up to the veset. That's the Tanakama. Rabbi Yehuda says, Kol shelo hifrisha b'tahara mina mincha ulemala, harezu b'cheskat tuma. Rabbi Yehuda says, no. Remember we said in the first part, we said if she, shachri, as long as she checked in the morning, that's fine. Rabbi Yehuda says, no. Checking in the morning on the 7th day is not enough. It has to be mincha mala in the afternoon. Only then is she okay. But if she didn't examine herself from mincha, areza b'chezkat tme'ah. She is chazaka of tme'ah. Chachamim omrim. Chachamim say afilu b'shniya lenidata badka mitzata Torah. Even if on the 2nd day, first day she saw blood, the next day it cleared up. The 2nd day and she said Torah. Ubein hashmashot lo yifrisha, but and then on the seventh day, bein hashmashot, she didn't establish herself. Ulachar zman badka umetzat tmeya, and later on, she examined herself and found, meaning after the mikvah, a few days after that, harezo becheskat tahara. Once after she started her nidut, then it cleared up, the Chachamim say. Then, even if it's on the second day, that's fine. She has a chazaka of tahara. But the Chachamim wouldn't even extend it to the first day. It has to be only from the second day. All right, we'll stop here. Dedicate early to my father, Simcha Yitzchak Kalman. Make it a great day.